So I've got a bit of a change of plans here. I wanted to put I'm going to put an electric motor on the front of this, whether it be just a basic tiller type one modified or a GPS lock one or whatever. I need to get a AGM battery under here, and I've just measured everything. I can't slide it in from the front without chopping out the front of the seat, and then there's actually a bracket that holds the foam and everything in, which just causes a headache anyway. So what I'm going to do, I had originally thought about ripping this whole thing out and making a platform level with that lip there, so you can stand flat across there and put this on a pedestal. But what I'm actually going to do, just temporary, is chop this seat in half basically, or nearly in half, take this whole section out, and then I'll have this as a box down and then a flatter floor, and I'll be able to drop the battery in from the top in a false floor, like a floor there, and then we can stand, get the lowest centre of gravity we can, because this is going to be used out to sea a little bit. So I want to be as low as we can. I don't want to cast the deck up really high, so you're really top heavy, and it's pretty sketchy when you're in the sea. So that's the plan, and then it'll be low enough you can still sort of pull the anchor safely and all that sort of stuff. So short of pulling the whole thing out, I'm going to cut it in halves first. There's a sport bracket there and there's one there, so if I cut it around here somewhere, that'll give us a pretty good area to work with. These are the seats I'm going to put in it. So they're all going to be a pivot, so I've just got to make sure that when they swivel, it's going to give me enough room, so it's probably going to have to go somewhere like that. So basically, I'm just going to cut it off pretty much level with the glove box. That's the plan. Alright. What could possibly go wrong? Might as well cut them screw holes out as well. Literally just going to cut it across there. And put some bracing in, battery will go in there. Interesting. I only need to cut through the aluminium so I can adjust this up a bit. You may think cutting aluminium with a cold chisel in tight spots is a bit rough, and you'd be right. Alright, that's done. I'll get a wood saw now and cut the foam across. So before I cut right through this seat, the foam, I might actually push this foam back in there as far as I can, because it actually stops there and there each end. I don't know if that's to do with when they weld or not. Anyway, I want as much flotation as here as I can, and then when I rebuild this other section, the existing foam in here, I'll make sure that's on the floor. So anyway, so we'll shove that over as far as we can. So you can see that's moved over quite a bit. Somehow I've got it cut through here, so this is interesting. Sort of cutting through, hopefully just fine. It's like a magic trick now to put it back together. Ta-da! So, what we need to do is obviously we'll weld up a frame to keep that supported, and then we'll make our battery. We'll make a false floor here, somewhere, about whatever height we need to clear our AGM battery. And the floor level will probably end up about there, somewhere all the way across there. So yeah, that's the plan. Now that this is out, I can clean up all these edges that we couldn't get at. I didn't want to cut these support ribs, little gussets, so not that they really would matter, but it might make it a bit easier. So I just slid this out a little bit, trimmed off the rough edge, and then I can just that back in there like that, and that'll give me enough room to weld. I'll do a bit of a test as far as fire stuff goes, see if this burns. I think this stuff's actually fire retardant, so we'll find out. I know the foam in U-boats are, but I'd be amazed if that is. It just looks like normal foam to me, but we'll do a test. Right, we'll do a little test. So here's a little off-cut of foam, map gas, meet foam, foam, map gas. I'm pretty sure this is going to burn like anything. So it obviously melts. Surprisingly not catching on fire though. Look at that. Well, that's good to know. I mean, well, there we go. Geez, it took a bit to get going. Alright, let's not breathe that in. So I'm not sure how we'll go when we're welding, but we'll just have some water on hand, I think. I'm just going to get the angle grinder in and cut off this seat, which we hacked out basically because I couldn't get at it. It's actually had a split up here already, had a bit of damage on the seat. There's a broken weld, and if you can see down here, there's actually a crack in the frame there. So I'm not sure if that's from factory or what's happened, or they may have hit something on this pillar at some point. Sides of the boat's still pretty straight, but anyway, when I'm MIG welding, I'll fill that up. Same with this side, we're just going to cut these welds off. Now that I can get to them, I won't bother filming that because that'd be pretty boring. Just ground out all these old welds here. I've left a little bit down here because you never see it when the floor's in. So yeah, tidied that up a bit. Same with this side, a bit awkward to get at. But that's pretty much back to normal now. So between the section here where the seat was and across, obviously we need to strengthen it up because that's the bow of the boat. It takes the biggest hammer in from waves and bits and pieces. So yeah, we'll work out the battery height and then we'll have a floor that'll run. So from here, just sort of quarter way up that seat, I'm guessing, somewhere across here somewhere. I'll still be able to use the front storage as well. It'll be below that blow that lip there. So yeah, it'd be good. And I was thinking too, when we spin this seat around the other way, that'll actually be pretty cruisy, quite comfy. And if I do get a iPilot, what do you call it, electric motor, I'll be able to have the foot controls down here while sitting on that seat, so that'll be good as well. So yeah, so there'll be plenty of room for a couple of people. I'm going to take the old man out and whoever else wants to come, brother when he's down and stuff, so we'll be able to go fishing a bit more. It should be a nice, safe and roomy boat. So yeah, looking forward to it. Right, we're going to start by welding in a battery tray. Basically somewhere in here we'll have to make sure it's square, and that way we can have that mounted at a low centre of gravity. Also have enough so the water draining will run underneath it. This is basically a template, just a bit of scrap wood. That's kind of the standard size of a battery that we're after, 100 amp per hour. And it's a little bit bigger than most batteries. There's a few different brands I've looked up, so that will fit that. Use that as a bit of a jig, and that will get welded in like that. Center of the boat, and then we can drop the battery straight in. So I've made this a little bit bigger. So we need to do that somewhere like that. Right, so there we go. This welder's not exactly good for aluminium. It's a DC TIG. Really need a different welder for this, but see how we go. We always have a problem with the wire feed every time I do this. It's not set up for aluminium, but anyway. Right, try again. Just got a jam in the wire feed and it chews out at the roller part, so I put a bigger contact tip in, smooth roller, so hopefully that'll be alright. I'll back the pressure off on the roller feed as well, so if it does have a bit of resistance here, it'll slip on the roller instead of just chewing it out through the machine. So ideally we need a TIG welder, so I'm saving up for one of those, but anyway, we just got to use what we've got at the moment. And when it's running right, it's actually not too bad, but man, when it doesn't run, it is an absolute pain, this thing, but here's what it is, and we'll just have to use what we've got, so hopefully we're right. Running good now. So as that shrunk up a bit, let's put it in. Gentle persuasion. So anyway, so the battery's going to come in from the top here, so whatever height the battery will be our new deck height. So it'll sit in there, nice. bit of a weld on the end there. This little lip here, I'm going to try and bend that down and just tack it in. Like that. Like that. So that means the battery will still drop in there okay, and we'll just have something to pin the end down to. Battery will fit in there alright. So we know the width of that battery is okay. I've now cut the top of this, cut this down, so this is actually the height of the batteries that will fit in here. There's a few different brands I've played around with, and I've given myself 5mm sort of play with, and I've actually given myself another 15mm above the terminals as well, because there's nothing worse than having terminals hard up against the floor of the boat. So that's where it's going to end up. So really, as you can see there, that's why I've cut this seat out, because that's that would have hit, that, especially at this end, that was definitely going to be chewing into the seat, which means I would have had to cut out a section out of the seat anyway, and there was a strap in the middle, and anyways, it was not too hard basket. So we're going to build this around this. So that is actually going to be pretty much the height of the deck that we're going to put in here from there. So I think the first one we will put in is this cross member right across the front here, and then that'll be the teetering point of where it lines up there, and I'll get it kind of where I want it. And I'm going to use this heavier piece of aluminium, just to give it a bit of strength up the front. So if it does hit a bit of a swell or bash through a bit of a wave here and there, this will be pretty tough. That'll keep the edges in nice and firm. And then we'll just reinforce this as we go. There'll be another beam running right across the back here, so that should be pretty strong still. Considering this is only light aluminium, but there's quite a bit of it, and being a box seat, that seat would have had quite a bit of strength in it. So I'll measure that up, cut it, and we'll weld it in. So we've marked our length here of the aluminium we want going across, and now I've just got to cut a section out of the bottom here, so I've just got a combination square. I've dropped it in the angle of the boat, and I'm just going 90 degrees off the end of the spirit level, so I know which angle to cut. Right, so we've cut the angle here, same as down the angle of the side of the boat underneath. I've cut out a little slot so we can fit it over these little gussets on each side. So basically the black line here is a bit of a guide where it's supposed to go. So that one in down there, that one sits over like that. Battery up here, and we've got like a 5mm clearance above that battery, and I did allow a tiny bit above the battery for terminals and stuff like that as well, so that's pretty close. So what we'll be able to do now is I'll put this on the other side, which will give me put this angle piece this side. I was originally going to put it this side, but I can't actually get in there to weld in there, so if I do it there, I'll get a good bead along the main frame of the boat. Oops. And another good weld down there as well, plus across the top. I can tack a few spots in here. I'll take this foam out so we don't catch on fire. I'll lift this up a tiny bit. In fact, there's not much give in there anyway. I'll just tack that across there. And later, I'm going to put a piece of this channel right that way, down here somewhere. Even though that will stick out a little bit, it'll give this strength, this piece here, a bit of strength, because the seat obviously used to obviously come across to here, which would have given this a lot of strength. So at the moment it's all hanging off here, and there was a crack in the weld there anyway. I've fixed that, but my plan is to put a big gusset in here somewhere like that, give it a heap of strength, but also I can screw on some rod holder tips, so the rods can go in the sounder electronic panel I'm going to build down that end. Rods will come along the tip and all sit in here somewhere. So that'll give me room for storage for the rods, but it'll also reinforce this corner. That corner's fine, so then we'll be able to sleep at night knowing that we're not going to fold it in half first wave we hit. And then I've got to get some foam all in here as well. Anyway, we'll get some welding happening. So I just made up a bit of an angled bracket out of this 40 by 5mm, just to make this corner piece a bit stronger, because there's the floor there, but there's no real support this way. The seat obviously kept that a bit solid. So anyway, whack this in here, so that'll go somewhere like that, and that'll just give it a bit of a gusset to make that corner strong. There'll be another beam going across the floor later on the other side, so that'll keep that strong. And then I'll put my rod holder mounts in here somehow probably, so that'll be multi-purpose. So I'll get that welded in. It's a good start. So I've just welded this support tab underneath here, under the existing seat, to give it a bit of end support. And then this line here is the height of the new deck across here. So what I'll do then is put a support beam from there up to the height of the new deck and across, and then another support back here, and then we'll be able to lift up the floor above where the batteries are. So welded this piece on here. This is actually going to be the height of the floor. That'll sit in there somewhere like that. So that's our floor height all the way across. So that's the spirit level, which is really just used as a line at the moment. That line up the front of the boat, that's where our floor is going to hit. And we'll do the same here once that's the right spot. So that'll line up to there. So that's our floor right there. And what I want to do before I weld this in, I'm going to slide all that foam into here. But I thought while I'm at it, I'm just going to install this fire extinguisher holder. I've already marked it out. 360 by 140 is the cutout size. So that will go up in there. Then when I carpet later, the floor level will be there. It'll carpet all the way across there and down. So that'll tidy all that up. So cutting out a bit of strength out of that. So really the only thing holding that seat, once there's a bracket here, will be this little bit of aluminium. So we'll have to put a frame inside here, and that'll straighten this up anyway. So I'm going to chop this hole out, and then we'll get all the foam in there. Then I can weld this end in and weld in a frame at the end as well. That'll be pretty solid then. Nice. Right, get some foam in there and then we'll weld this plate in. So we cut out our foam. See that? A little bit on the end. So this can actually go in here now. purposely left a little lip on the end here so when I weld, hopefully this doesn't catch on fire. But we'll soon find out. That can go in later. But yeah, that can go in later. I'll leave that there. Right, next job. Get this welded in. Goes like that. That goes there, and then floors there, and then we'll weld a frame inside here. Beef this up a bit, especially this piece here, because really a lot of weight's just sitting now. Needs a stiffener in there. Nice, right. Right, it's made up this bit of angle here, which is supposed to drop in here. Hopefully.
Through the fields of our paths, feelings part our ways, keeping us close but estranged now. Dreams holding us closer, meadows of our youth, 107 days, but recalling it backwards. Our dreams holding us closer. Ooh, we can see so clear. Ooh, we can see so
Okay, we're going to try and stick this front rail across here for the end of the floor. So we've already got two here now. Two reference points behind me to line this up right. And that's where this one has to go. And I can now tilt the supporter back to get it plumb with the spirit level. Check everything. sweet, got it welded on now. Right, I got that front bit welded in. That was a bit of a nightmare, but anyway. Now what we'll do, so just cut a rough piece here and just put a edge around the lip around the edge, and we'll just fill it where we want a hatch to be. So anyway, I think I'll leave it there, this video. We've got the floor part made. I've just got to fill in a few bits of battery holder. I've just got to mow some hay at the moment, so I'm going to have to leave this for a week or so, and we'll get back into it when we get back. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you like these videos, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next bit.